Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Just making sure I got the chat up on my phone because Lisa Clovey is running a bit late. Um, let's see who we got here, and then we'll bring up our guest tonight. Hey, Cashew Gesundheit. Thanks so much. Appreciate you being here. Hey, Alicia, Farm Fresh, Strange Reality. Hi, Green Granny 2, Denise Bissell. I hope you're doing well. Hey, Broke Cowgirl Homestead, Gwen. Hope you're doing well. Trinity and Tim, Blue Collar Homestead. How's it going? Welcome. Rebecca Touched by Yarn. Welcome. Holman's Homestead, which is Carolyn and Doug and Daniel. So thank you. Hope everybody's doing awesome today. We are finally supposed to get some rain. I know you guys saw the video that we did on our pastures, and there was like this big green glob on the radar. And I was telling Charles that we got about 5 drops of rain, but I ran out and fertilized the pasture before this live so I could get that down. And hopefully it pours. It's 7 o'clock. It was 100% chance and it didn't do anything. So I'm hoping that happens. Yeah, Alicia, I'll talk about that in just a minute. But without further ado, I'm going to bring up Charles because I want him to hear about this as well. So I want everybody to give a warm welcome to Charles at Bushcraft Family, and I'm going to bring him up. Hey there.
Oh, hey, I was eating all the snacks in the back room.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Hey, Sparkman. I'm doing well. Thank you, Gwen. Alicia at Strange Reality says hello, Charles. Somebody was saying they felt so bad I didn't find the horse. So my husband, I have to tell you this story. So my husband sent me a Facebook post this morning that said, look at this. And so basically what it was is there's a young woman who is going from New Jersey to Oregon on horseback. I don't know her purpose. I don't know much about her, but unfortunately, when she was in Wind Cave National Park, something happened and the horse took off.
Oh.
So the problem is it's not just the horse is loose and taking off. It has a tether and a hobble attached to it. So the concern is it's going to get stuck around a tree and not have water. And it's been missing since Tuesday evening. And so when my husband sent it to me, because it was the first we heard about it, I went down there for about 2.5 hours with binoculars because I don't have a horse. And our side-by-side is way too large for a lot of the trails. They make the trails here for the more compact ones. And so sadly, I just put out an update on Facebook in my stories and Instagram that they still haven't found it, which is really sad because she's just heartbroken and it's federal land because it's a national park. So she's running into some things. However, she said they've been extremely helpful to her. And I know conservation is out there. The Custer State Park is out there on horseback. So hopefully they'll help her.
Yeah, something like that. I would almost want to have a tracker on it, on the horse itself, some sort of one.
Exactly. I ended up tagging one of the helicopter tour places here because she was looking for information on the regulations regarding helicopters and, somebody with a, what do you call it? The infrared cameras. So
yeah,
hopefully they'll find it. It's just so sad.
Yeah.
So I just want to go to the chat real quick. So Blue Collar Homestead says, hey. Dana B, hello. And she says hello to you. You can see the
hey,
chat,
Dana
right?
B. Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. Yeah, so it's just sad, but hopefully they find it. She already has one of the emergency veterinarians that are closest to the park on call for when they find it. So they said they will come out. So she's really working hard and the message is getting spread. So hopefully they find it.
How long can a horse go without water?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not experienced with enough for a horse to know something like that.
Yeah, I know that she said that basically if it was hung up, this will be its third day, and that was the concern because it has no access to water. Whereas if it was loose in the park, it would have access to grazing and water.
Yeah,
So it this morning was the critical. I'm assuming because or last night because it had already been 2 days. So it's not looking good right now. But you know what? I'm holding out hope that it's going to be amazing.
yeah. Sitting in a pasture somewhere, munching away.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
The ironic part about it is I think it's about 10,000 acres
yeah,
and a lot of it is, the open prairie land, but there's some pretty deep ravines and I guess some other deep wooded areas because that's where the bison go
yeah,
when they're calving. Hey, Grace and Fire, Bro Cowgirl said not long. So, but we're
yeah. I
gonna hold out
don't
hope.
think it would be that long.
Yeah, we're gonna hold out hope though. Um, So let's see. I've always admired those who raise horses. It would be too much for me. Yeah, I got a lot to do with horses when I was a teenager. I used to do shows and stuff like that. I used to work there to pay for my lessons, and it was great because I had access to like all these boarded horses. I didn't have to own them.
I always went to the was more interested in the cowgirls than the horses.
Well,
uh, I found out what rodeos, and there was a lot of cowgirls there, and that was a thing back then.
well, truth be told, there was a very handsome young boy there. Well, he was an older man at the time, like way older, but super, super sweet, super great people though. So I admit, yeah, that's what happens during those days.
Mhm.
So Charles, I'm sure everybody knows who you are, but just in case, right? Because we get somebody who watches the replay. Talk a little bit about yourself, and you've got a bunch of channels, and if you want to promote those, please do.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I know why, and I'm sure a lot of people do, but just jump right in and go for it.
Yeah. Well, when I first started it, it's been about 8 years now, I think. Um, I had put one video out, and it within 3 days. I got 25,000 views, and I was like, "Oh, this is easy." My next two videos were like a couple hundred, and I was going to go ahead and stick with it. And YouTube contacted me and said that somebody had hacked my channel and it was locked down. And they said, "We'll contact you when it's unlocked, and we'll give you information on how to do this." I never heard anything else from them.
Oh,
I just gave up on it and went back to gaming. And uh, 2020 came around, and guess what? They contacted me, said you can upload videos now. And I'm like, what? And I wasn't thinking about doing it at the time. So I just made a video about because at the time there was a lot of shortages, and I went to Walmart and there was nothing on the shelves, and I was showing stuff, and I blew up over that, and then I started, you know, talking about prepping and stuff like that, and it ended up catching on pretty well. And then I had, done the garden thing and whatnot, and that's pretty much where I've been, except for when I dabble into the news and stuff and subjects I probably shouldn't be.
I disagree, and I don't want to go deep into that because the last thing I would want to do is hurt your channel. So, but I will say this: I have a lot of respect for you, and for many reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is because you're not an alarmist. You're not
Hmm.
a screaming yeller, like freaking people out kind of guy. You present the information,
Yep.
and you present it in a very matter of fact way and let people make their own decisions. And that's what I really admire about your channel and about you as a person. And it's ironic because there's a lot of people out there doing the opposite, and
Yeah.
obviously they're not having the struggles you are. So just throwing that out there, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Some of them, we should already be uh, on fire from nukes from the sky. That's happened since 2020. How many times they said that this was going to happen? And that's the kind of thing I don't want associated with, because yeah, it's hard enough with people out there now than trying to scare the crap out of them, basically.
I think people are in a I posted on social media the other day because I was really, and I think this relates in a sense, because I was really irritated when I saw that, and I'm not naming names, but one creator called out another creator in a short. And basically, the way that I perceived it is, and nobody bring it up in the chat, please do not. But what frustrated me about it is there's so much in life going on right now, and there's so much negativity that stepping on somebody else is uncalled for. It's always been uncalled for, but it's really uncalled for now because the
Yes.
world is such a negative place, and it's an uncertain place for so many. And that's why I bring it up, because I ended up posting on Instagram about it and saying, like, it's nobody's even paying attention to your negative comments when you write them because they're so disrespectful. Whereas if you contacted the person and said you disagreed, like you felt like what they were doing was going to harm their animal, like if you felt the need to speak out, contact them personally. Don't slam them on a post. That's not helpful.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, that's not why I invited you here tonight, and I don't want to get off on that soapbox, but I felt like that's relative because it's just, we can't be scaring people. We can't be mean to people. I mean, we can, but that's just not the way to do it, is what I'm saying. So,
and there are those that just want to do that because they get more views for slamming people instead of what is your channel about,
right. And that's the thing. Like, am I going to be famous? No, and that's okay. I do this for the fun of it. I have good connections. It's a very tiny income for the farm. But you know what? It works. I don't want to be famous because I don't want to deal with all that.
Oh, no. Because at one point I was getting 50,000 views a day for videos. I'm down to like 120 views now, but I did see with those views comes a lot of other stuff, and unfortunately, it's what you have to deal with once you become a YouTuber or creator.
Yep, I had a reel. We had a water heater break in the pig tank on New Year's Eve, not last year, the year before. And I just did some silly little reel, right? And my thought behind it was there was a lot of people dealing with ice and waters in states where they don't usually get it like us.
Mm-hmm.
And these were some of the things that I did to get through the night because, New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day, like I'm not getting a new heater.
Yeah.
So, and I just wrote some silly little things and I did some research and I put it on there. Well, I think it made it to like 65,000 views on Instagram. And I can't tell you how many nasty comments I got. Well, why didn't you buy a heater? And I said, did you read the post? The heater died at about 11:35 on New Year's Eve. And we were at minus whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because stupid things, people don't think when they break up ice, to remove the ice. They break it
Yeah.
up and they think, oh, that's great because, oh, whatever. But the ice freezes immediately.
Yeah.
You have to get it all out of there. So I just want to go to the chat real quick. So Dana B was saying some nice things about you. Shift Kicker, hello. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. And Suburban Hillbilly said they would pronounce it Yogi Holler. And yes, when I was in North Carolina, they would say the same thing. It's down in the holler. Yeah, no need to exaggerate. Exactly. I agree. Hey, our treasured home. Hey, Callie Homesteading with Pooh Bear. Hope you're doing well. Congrats on the turkeys. Tina Ladybug, hello. Yes, Norman's famous. Not quite so much. Let's see here. Hey, Smoky Mountains, Joy. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Just want to get through. Hey there, Annette at the Cow Emporium. Thank you, Callie Homesteading. I appreciate you. So go on and finish talking a little bit about your channel. You want to talk about your other channels or your main one, whatever your focus is.
Well, the Bushcrafty one is pretty much, whoops, I got another channel in case the first one gets in trouble, which I've been there for a while, off and on there. The Bush Tech one, because everybody is always asking me questions, how you do this and how you do that. And I find it easier to show how to do something instead of trying to explain it.
Right.
So I just made that there. When somebody asks me a question, how do you do this? Then I just make a video and put it up there. And I've been kind of getting back into the ghost, paranormal stuff. And I've done had a lot of people up for interviews and stuff that do go out and look for Bigfoot and those types of things.
Yeah.
And like some Friday nights, I do the paranormal stuff, and it's gotten pretty popular. So I kind of want to separate that from the channel.
Yeah.
So I went over to, and made the Bushcrafty channel. And it's more of a hobby thing to do whenever don't have much to do.
That's cool though. And guys, I know Lisa Colovi's in the chat, and while Charles was talking, I just put Bushcrafty in the chat. But just so you know, all of Charles's channels are in the description of the video, so you can easily click on them, just to make it easier. Because Lisa Colovi, she's gonna have carpal tunnel from her Friday nights with me. And I love her to death because she's so amazing, but I just want to make sure everybody knows where to find those. And let's see, Suburban Hillbilly said you get in trouble all the time for no reason.
Yeah. The last one was very interesting. I'm not going to go into details, but yeah, it was very interesting.
Yeah, and you have videos on them on Bushcrafty.
No, I don't have it anywhere. Other people do that didn't get in trouble, but I'm not going to say any more about that. But yeah,
I totally respect that. I would not ever want to put you in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah, the whole thing of it is, it's what we have to deal with today is there's a whole misinformation. The thing is, the people who do the fact checking are being told from our government what is true and what is not true. And that's unfortunate shame of where we've been at.
Yes, agreed.
And it came to light with somebody that bought Twitter, how bad it's gotten.
Right. I agree.
It goes to YouTube, it goes to Facebook, all those other places.
Oh, yes. I got a notification on Instagram, and I'll just say that. There was a popular post that everyone was sharing, and it happened to be something that happened in the Buckeye State.
My state?
Yeah, I'm just trying not to use certain words. And a popular event recently, and then it also showed cattle in the pasture.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
choo-choo thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really ironic because a whole bunch of us on Instagram got slapped on the wrist for it, for sharing it. And when we all requested a correction to the facts, it's funny. It's like it never was submitted. But so I want to switch gears because I don't want to get you in a place where it's awkward. I feel like I'm doing that. So talk about your garden.
Well, not much of anything. Yeah, I just got onions and some watermelon radish, some Japanese cabbage, and probably not going to have it because I planted it and it hasn't came up yet. So supposed to be strawberry spinach, a new thing that I was going to try out. It actually, the spinach tastes like spinach, and the strawberries that come off of it taste like strawberries.
No.
Yeah, but they haven't come up. So, and that's the shame about when you're buying seeds. You don't know the route they're taking when they come to you through the mail. Some places it'll run through a metal detector. And if they take x-rays, your seeds are no good.
Right.
And that is, it all depends where you're getting them from. Some people will advertise on the package, seeds don't x-ray, stuff like that. And it's just one of those things that if you get a seed from another country and it comes over here, more than likely it's been checked.
Yeah.
And it's just you're like flipping a coin if it's going to work or not.
And also seeds from other countries. I think what a lot of people don't realize is we also have to be careful with the seeds we're getting from other countries. It's a pretty harmless thing. But I can tell you that Anita at Flower Folk Farm is in Australia, and she's a flower farmer. And she's often talked to me about Baker Creek seeds and how amazing they are. And I had said to her, like, I'll order them from Baker Creek and send them directly from Baker Creek to you. And she said, no, they would never make it in the country because of the strict agricultural. And I may be missing a part of that, but I know that I had offered to buy them and mail them to her. And then she said no. And I said, I would order them and ship them to you. And she said they won't.
If you get them to your house, this sounds weird, but go to the dollar store and buy some women's underwear. I know it sounds weird, and mark on the package underwear, and send them with the underwear. It tends to get through when other things won't. I don't know why. It's true.
I'm dying laughing because all I can picture is hoping that the person doing the x-ray on the machine is looking the other way when they see all the Baker Creek seeds tied together with a rubber band.
Yeah, I've actually know a few people that's done this, and they've got the seeds, and it all depends where it goes to. Yeah. This was to Canada, and one was in France. So it does work. I don't know. It's one of those things.
Suburban Hillbilly has a question.
I don't know. uh, but the thing is, you have to send it, because if you mark it on there that it has to be on there, because if not, then they can actually get you for stuff.
Yeah.
So the cheaper, the better, I guess. and unless somebody actually, needs them, then 2 gifts in one.
And you might want to let the recipient know that you're sending those ahead of time.
Oh yeah,
so they don't think you're kind of weird.
Do you want me to wear these where I'm planting these, or what?
That's so funny. So that's really neat. Where did you learn about that strawberry spinach?
I just came across, because I was wanting some spinach, and I was wanting different types of spinach, and I did a search for spinach, and one of the plants came up, and it said strawberry spinach, and I'm like, is it just red or something? Then I looked at the pictures, and it had it was berries, but it didn't kind of look like a strawberry. It was more of a long type berry. And I'm going to see if they have any seeds. So I went and typed it in there, and it popped up. And that only place that I found that was reasonable, because most of them were like $20-$30 for 30 seeds. And I was like, I'm not going to pay that much.
Yeah.
And then ordered them, and yeah, they still haven't came up.
Seeds are pretty pricey. And I know Ryan and I were having the conversation about with our short season and the challenges we have, because even when the cold season goes away, then we have hail season. And, we were lucky to get a hold of, he got a hold of some kind of tarp that we will be able to position. And instead of it bowing down when it gets full of hail, it's more rigid, and we can string it up so it can be on an angle and it'll go off.
Oh yeah.
I guess the equivalent of like a shade tarp for an animal if you didn't have trees. And
yeah.
So it's really exciting that he's got that. But I don't know, we had snow. We had like 19 inches of snow in April, and I ended up had planted all these things already. And I said, well, let's just see how they do. And if they don't do well, now we're to the point where I need to get them outside, because they really need to get outside, but it's not time yet.
Yep.
So
I've been watching the weather here, and I'm waiting for that, where I don't see 30s anymore for the lows. Yep. And that's finally here. I'm hoping to start bringing some plants out and getting them hardened up, and then putting them back in. What I'll probably end up doing this time is opening my windows up in the room and let the air come in, and do it that way for a day or two first, and then take them out there for the first 8 hours, and then next day 16, and then so forth.
Yeah. I have one early pea plant that survived as a seedling. The other ones didn't do as well. And the ironic part is it already has a pea on it.
Oh.
So I got it planted in a pot. Since it's the only one, I'm just going to put it outside in a pot. But, it's just funny, because I start them so early because I want them to get out there so they're ready to go. But we have that greenhouse, and one of the things that we're going to hopefully do this weekend is build raised beds in them instead of pots. And then we're hoping to add a second greenhouse so we can get all the peppers and the tomatoes in there, and keep all that stuff happy and hot versus, the other stuff. But what zone are you?
I forget, was 6A or B.
Okay.
One of those.
Okay. Suburban Hillbilly said they're not as expensive as starts. Everyone has to make their own choices. Yeah. I know that starts are expensive too now.
Yeah, and you got to know where those starts come from. You don't know what they put in them.
Very true.
That's a good thing about grown from seeds. And that, again, you have to know where the seeds come from too. So
yep.
you gotta kind of trust where that seed comes from.
Exactly. One of the things that I find that is kind of strange is, so if I go an hour south of me or I go an hour north of me, I'm in different zones. And so if I go to get plants from there, I have to remind myself that I have to look and see if they're from my zone. So we have a local
Oh,
greenhouse. But for example, blackberries are not recommended in we're in 4B. It's only a limited number of varieties, is from what I've read. I could be wrong, but I read about it. And I was able to find one at a big box store an hour north of me in Rapid. And I had to Google the variety, and the variety said it was good for 4B. So that's why I bought it.
oh, I haven't been to Rapid City for a long time.
I know it.
Yeah,
I know
I
it.
remember when I was in Job Corps in Nemo, South Dakota,
Yes.
walking to Sturgis.
Oh my gosh, that's a
Yeah,
walk.
yeah, that was 3 days. It was longer for the people who went the high. Well, they never made it, but I went cross country
Okay.
because if you follow the route, it goes like way out and goes big old curve and then goes up north. And I said, well, I'm just going to go cut straight across and be there.
Smart. Smart. Oh, that's cool, Suburban Hillbilly.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think there was some places in Sturgis that we built bathrooms because at first I was went in for bricklaying, and one of the jobs was laying block for the public bathrooms for whenever they had the Sturgis Rally.
Right.
And that's when I found out what Sturgis Rally was. I was like, oh, wow, this is nice. Well, you know what's there.
Yeah, I've never been there during rally, and I don't think I ever will, and that's probably because I'm older
It's
now.
changed since in the
Yes,
80s.
it sure has, because
Yeah.
I was told stories, and believe it or not, there are some stories still going around
Oh, I
from
bet.
recent years.
Yeah, I noticed that the outskirts they have big old bars that are acres big, and oh boy.
Oh yeah. Um, so Alicia wants to know, can you explain knowing your seeds? Like, do you not want genetically modified, disease resistant or something, or something else?
um,
She said, bye, Homan's Homestead. Have a great weekend.
well, if I get certain seeds from certain places, like there's some that they'll tell you that they don't spray or they don't do this when they grow their plants to produce the seeds. GMO, I don't want to mess with. Um, Usually, if I get a good plant and it's growing really good, I'll save the seeds from that. I'll plant one plant for just seed, and whatever comes up, I'll eat I'll eat the regular fruit and stuff from it, or tomatoes or whatever. But the majority of it will go for seed, and I'll let it turn to seed and everything, and then harvest the seeds from that. That way, those seeds will be better than any seed I can get at a store because they're from my soil, from my climate, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you buy seeds from somewhere else, you don't know what climate they were grown in, you don't know what region or anything like that. So you could get something from California and it grows really good there, and then it's stunted from over here in Ohio, and it would take you like 3 or 4 garden seasons to get it used to your climate.
Take care, Tim. Blue Collar Homestead, sending prayers for Trinity. I hope she's doing well. Yeah, so for example, Alicia at Strange Reality, one of the things that I do is I buy from my farmer's market, which is local. However, I also know when, so for example, I bought horseradish root
Oh,
and I knew that it was local. I knew that they were growing it. I knew there was some zucchini they were growing. I knew there's some other things. But when I go in there and I see cantaloupe and watermelon, right, and I know that I can't grow that here, it could A, be from across the state, right, because across the state is a different climate than us. Or B, it could be it's in a pallet in a box. I know that they have purchased it maybe from a Mennonite community or I'm sorry, a Hutterite community, and it may be outside of South Dakota. So that's some of the things to look for. But like horseradish root, I planted right in the back. I bought my garlic from the most of my garlic that no, all of my garlic that I bought in the fall was from the farmers market. The garlic that I planted a month ago, just because I had extra cloves and they were going to go bad and I didn't feel like freeze drying just cloves. I planted those and they were from the store. So I'm going to see how it goes, but I prefer the farmer's market stuff, if that makes sense.
yeah, definitely. And there are those. We have somebody here that they get assistance from the state or the government
Right.
with a card, and they go buy a bunch of watermelons, and they go setting up on the side of the road selling fresh watermelon,
Mm-hmm.
which came from Walmart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh, Annette at the Cow Emporium. She's in I think 3 A or B. She's in zone 3, I think. Can grow a watermelon. It's the size of a small cantaloupe, but it tastes so good. That's awesome. Hey, Charles, fallen Arkansas veterans. Hope you're doing well. Kiddie pools for wheat. There we go. That's a good idea. So what other so you got all that. Any other interesting plants you're growing in the garden besides the strawberry spinach that are someone might not know about?
I do got some. I can't pronounce the name, but it's a potato that comes from um, the Philippines or somewhere like that.
Really?
The only problem, it takes a long time to grow, so we don't have that long. It's like 140 days.
Ooh.
So depending how my year goes, I might get some of those. If not, I'll get some smaller ones. And these things are supposed to be, you can slice them and dry them out and then grind them up for flour to use for, another source for making bread and whatnot.
That's interesting.
And I had, well, so far the 3 plants that I did grow of it, amethyst, elephant amethyst, which produces a seed that is similar to rice. So I'm kind of growing stuff that I can actually, live off of, kind of. Other things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Something that's not normal.
The Cow Emporium, it was an older video, but they made potato flour, potatoes. Annette, are you still here? Tell me what it was you made, because I'm screwing it up.
Potato bread's good.
Yeah, and that was interesting. Suburban Hillbilly said amaranth.
I can't remember what it's a big, and the type of it is amethyst, and it grows really big. Okay. So I was going to plant it in front of my house to see how it turned out. If anything, I just have flowers out there, because right now I have a bunch of dandelions. I actually plant the dandelions in my flower bed. just cool. So I get the roots and the greens and stuff.
I'm envious. Annette said it was potato starch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm envious because Erin at Bramble Hill Homestead was going to teach me how to make dandelion syrup and jelly, and I kept sending her pictures and I said, this is all I have. This is all I have. And she's like, you need more. You need a lot more. And she's like, well, can you go to a park? And I'm like, no. There's a lot of tourists here. You know what I mean? So dogs come in and I'm like, no. So I think it's just not going to happen for me, but so we'll see. I grew quinoa last year. And you're going to
how'd
laugh.
that turn out?
Well, I still haven't finished it because neither one of us were going to eat it, but we just wanted to see how it went. But I have to take this. So this is everything I took off the plants. And I was showing them last week. If you look close, hang on. You see the little yellow dots?
Yeah.
I have to pick a day where there's a little bit of a breeze and go back and forth with the buckets to see how much I yielded. But I knew my husband is not a fan of it. But I just wanted to see what I yielded. But I still have more seeds.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd be interested in growing?
Well, if I get some property, because the thing I would want to grow something that, because I would have chickens, and one of the really good things for chickens is lentils. You can actually soak them in water and let them sprout, and they're even better for the chickens.
Right.
And I was thinking that would be an extra source of food because you could store them, dry them, store them and whatnot. And if you got in the pinch, that's something that, because everybody knows what happened with the chickens for like 6 months, none of them were producing eggs and stuff. Well, most people.
Yeah.
And that's another source of food for an animal.
Absolutely.
And that's would be something I would think about if I would get that. And like today, I went out and I've got bunnies.
You got what?
Bunnies.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you want to say more or no?
Huh? Well, they're food.
Well, I know that.
Yeah.
I don't mind talking about that.
Yeah. Eventually, well, I get called really bad names when I talk about eating the bunnies and stuff.
We talk about taking control and growing your own food here all the time.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
But I mean, one bunny, well, he won't be a bunny, he'll be a rabbit, but you can get 4 or 5 pounds. It's not the really big breeds.
Yeah.
It's the smaller breeds. Because if I had unfortunately, I can't have chickens. Right. I can't have none of that stuff here, but you're allowed to have rabbits. But they just changed the rules on the rabbits now. You can only have 4. But they don't say per cage or anything. So
Hey, off the wall prepper, thank you very much. You didn't have to do that, my friend. Thank you.
Hey, off the wall.
Very kind of you. Thank you. I grow hops for the hens, shade and snack, and I use it in my pain salve. And off the wall prepper is also going to send me an acre of dandelions. Yes, we could use them. Let me just go to the chat real quick.
Yeah, anytime I see those, the little puff balls, I take them, do this little rub in my hands, and then I'll dig out some dirt and throw them in my flower bed. That dandelions are flowers, so it's. I mean, if you see I'll have to make a video of my flower bed. It's just dandelions.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I like the idea of the lentils, though. And in fact, when we lived in North Carolina, there was the Western North Carolina Farmers Market, and you could buy all sorts of dried lentils. And it's like makes me think about, darn, that would have been perfect now.
Yeah.
Yogi, the ladies who are plant snatchers here in the Ozarks said wildflowers. They were all dandelions. Yeah.
And then we have the purple. I have, if I let my grass be for a week, I'll have purple dead nettles popping up all over the place. And I'll go out there working in the garden. I'll see one. And I'll pluck it up and start eating it. Neighbors over there watching me like, what's wrong with him?
Did you excuse me? Do you also get the violets? Like, those violets
Yeah.
people get in their lawn, they can make stuff out of?
Yeah, jam and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can do tinctures with them, and it's good for extra vitamin C and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. It sure is, Veronica. It's Friday again, Chalk Hand Ranch. Oh, the week did fly by. No kidding. I just heard someone call dandelions blowies. That's funny. So you've got all that stuff going on in the garden, and hey, Gail, Southern Living, and you talked about your main channel and your other two channels. What other kinds of things you got going on that you feel comfortable sharing here in the public realm?
Well, yeah, I was going to get into the paranormal stuff again.
Sure.
Me and my son are planning on checking out a graveyard at 3:00 in the morning. Not tonight, but when it gets a little bit warmer. Because unfortunately, one of the things you do paranormal is if you feel temperature change, that tends to mean unless there's a breeze coming by, but tends to mean something may be around. So I've been digging out my equipment and stuff because I used to do it early 2000s. Yeah. And did some good investigation places and stuff, and it'll be something fun to do, something different.
That's great. And you were saying, if I remember correctly, you said something about a lot of the technology had changed.
Oh, yeah.
Since when you were doing it actively. And that's so frustrating because it's so pricey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I went and looked at a camera and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money to put in for something that you might see or might not see.
Right.
So the whole thing is, but some people say that they're on Samsung phones that you can change the settings to where you can see yourself at nighttime in the dark. And I'm like, most of the time I can't see the thing in the first place, let alone in the dark. But yeah.
Yeah, I know that's one of the challenges I'm trying to come up with because we have two older cameras, surveillance cameras for when the pigs farrow, and they work great for us. And I was able to actually take footage and make a video of the farrowing last year because it was my first time. And I really didn't want to have to worry about filming. So I was able to get the camera in a position where I could manipulate it. And it was pretty decent, to show what's going on. And we know how sometimes you have to be careful with those too. And so it worked out really well. And then one of the ideas somebody had for the channel was like having like a live stream cam, like on Norman or, and stuff like that. And I'm looking at the prices.
Just be careful with that.
I know.
I see a lot of people still doing that. And I don't know how they get away with it because I know if I did it, that they would be.
That's why I haven't done it. Plus the fact that the investment is more than the return, which is reality.
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I mean, let's face it, we all put more money into our things, but when it's that much different,
Yeah.
Because like I know I have my mentors, which I've talked to you about before, Halbert Farm in Texas. They're on Twitch. They stream um, the pigs all the time.
Yep.
So, and people really enjoy it.
Yeah. The thing is that you almost have to be one or the other. Constant 24-hour type thing. And a lot of them are not true 24 hours live streamers. They record, they'll have the same thing, and they'll play it again saying they're live, but it's because StreamYard has a thing to where you can do that.
Right.
You can replay videos, your whole playlist, and make it live. And that's one of the things that YouTube wanted to cut out, because people are saying they're live and they're not live. They're just getting, the minutes.
Right. I would totally be live, and I would only do it. I wouldn't do 24/7 at all.
No.
I can't, because this girl was raised in New York City. And if I have to go out and clean things, people might hear things they don't want to hear. So I'm not going to do that. But I might do it supervised, like, if I'm outside working and I can see what Norman's doing, or I say, hey, we're going to go live, let's look at Norman, kind of thing. Just because, I mean, that's an infringement on my life too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just
and they actually have people that will be in chat asking questions and whatnot. And that's the thing, is when somebody goes away from it and there's nobody there watching the channel, that's when they frown on it.
Absolutely.
Because you remember a few years ago, everybody was making playlists and telling people to watch them.
Yep.
Well, if they went and made it to you can't do that, because when a video is over, they automatically send you somewhere else. unless you remake it into, I think the most you can have up there is 24 videos now before they send you somewhere else.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Sparkman has a stream, and I just let the language fly. If they don't like it, they can leave. I don't think it's Charles is Fallen Arkansas. Veteran says YouTube won't let you go live 24/7. They'll cut you off at around 15 hours. I thought that was StreamYard.
12 hours.
Yeah.
And you just have to start it up again, but yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of weird, Gail. Sometimes that happens. I've noticed when I go into live streams and they don't. Some people really struggle. I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes people struggle to see the chat and manage everything. I know that I've missed people and I've hated it. I've told people, like, give me a thumbs down in the chat if I missed, not on the video, but like in the chat, if I missed you, or say, hey, moron, you missed me. It's crazy. Let's see. I mean, it shows the red line. Huh.
A red line?
Yeah, what's the red line, Gail? So while we're waiting for Gail to respond, you weren't here last week, but I wanted to show you this because I don't know if you saw it, but a subscriber and follower made a crocheted Norman. Isn't that the cutest thing?
Yes.
I just cannot. And you know what she said to me? I'm sorry that it's not identical. And I was like,
it's so cute.
This is the cutest thing ever.
Yeah.
Isn't that sweet? People are just incredible. Oh, here it is. Oh, Gail said the red line is when you watch a whole video.
Oh,
Gotcha. Quilting channel does a 12-hour. They split it into 2 6-hour.
yeah.
Wow.
And because of a while back, I got in trouble. I still don't know what for, but they demonetized me. And back then, you go every 30 days and you can reapply.
Right.
Well, they have now changed the rules on that. It'll be 90 days. So if you get demonetized, you have to wait 90 days to reapply.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Because I go through the terms of services quite a bit because making sure. Because a lot of times I've actually gotten a strike and I've got it removed. Right. The last one I couldn't. They wouldn't listen to it.
I think the frustrating thing, and again, I'm not talking about your channel, just overall in general, is and I hate to say that because I feel like a teenager going, well, everybody else is doing it. But what frustrates me is that I see inappropriate behaviors, unprofessional behaviors, swearing, carrying on, drinking. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm opposed to or not opposed to. I just think there's a level of professionalism. Mm-hmm. And there's even some streams where people are sleeping 24/7 and they're not wearing their pajamas. And they're able to do that. And so that's really frustrating to me because then I go to upload a video and I worry about things like if this is too close to the like we've not shown the actual act of processing chickens, but if you can see too much bodily fluids, they call it, that's an issue. And if you see too much of this or that, or something can be misconstrued, or
yeah,
I worry about that kind of stuff.
Doing his business has been people have gotten in trouble for a dog in the background, relieving themselves. Yep.
I've had that with animals, but not dogs.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
And I think that's what's frustrating for creators in general is just that for the ones who try to conduct themselves appropriately and follow the rules, and then, I'm taking a video and my rooster is very active with the hens and he happens to jump in, and then it's like, I don't realize that and I need to go back and edit that out. But where do we draw a line and do so appropriately, I guess is what the thing is, because they're animals.
And I think it's it's natural, but I think it's a very important thing, like how to process from your livestock and stuff. Because unless you can't see it anywhere because it hurts people's feelings too much.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that, and Ariella was actually bringing up a good point. Like, are they monetized? I have no idea, no way of knowing that. I mean, I can look at them and say they've got so many views on their about page. I can look at how many subscribers they have. That doesn't mean they're monetized. I don't know that. And it's not like I'm going to jump into a live where someone is snoozing and try to see if someone's giving a super chat. That kind of thing. So it's just kind of, I get what you're saying. We are held to a higher standard. And is this conversation okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that, and I just want to keep it in general. But I think that's some of the struggles, because I've even marked things as educational,
Yeah.
because of the fact that I have had someone say to me they showed their child a video, and it was very helpful.
Hmm.
So
And
super.
there's a lot of parents that would want their kids to know how to do this stuff, then pick up a phone and order McDonald's and have them deliver it to their door,
Right.
which there's a lot of people don't. The majority of, let's say, probably 15 to 25 don't know how to cook
Right. Right.
because they don't need to. It comes to their door.
Right. And Gail brought up a good point, and I look for the thanks button to see if the channel is monetized or not. That's a
Well,
good.
they don't have to. You can be monetized and not have that button.
True.
Yeah,
True.
because you have to go in and select it to have it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I just noticed we are at the hour, and I don't want to keep you because I know that you are a lot later than I am. So I want to be respectful of your time. Any last words? I don't want to cut you off, but we're welcome to continue a little while if you want to.
Oh, I usually up this late anyway.
Maybe we'll go another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that works for me. I just try to be respectful because I know a lot of people are way ahead of me.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. So some things it's hard to tell if they're monetized or not. But
Well,
I think,
there are websites that you can put their channel in, and it'll tell you if they're monetized or not.
oh my gosh.
Well, have you ever seen the videos about a YouTuber saying how much did they make?
Yeah.
Well, they go to a place called Social Blade. Unfortunately, Social Blade is not very accurate. It's ballpark, but it's nowhere near accurate. And it'll tell you if they're monetized and how much they make a year and all that funky stuff.
Okay, so I want to be clear. I'm not making what Social Blade is saying, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
My gosh. My gosh. Um, yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy. I don't have time to look that stuff up. Um,
Oh, no.
but I don't think, oh no, I already looked at that. Sorry. Yeah, it's just it's so funny. Hey, Jamie's Country Living, hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, it's just crazy. I think that we all try really hard as creators, just to try to do what we're supposed to do. And I know one of the things that has come up and is that the national parks are off limits unless you have a permit. I don't know if that ever got changed.
I don't know. That's a
But
shame, too.
well, but apparently some channels have had struggles with that by posting stuff. I've posted stuff from there, but that was long before that came up. So the only thing that I will post is a still pic on Instagram, and I won't identify where it's at. And then the other place is Custer State Park. I can do that. Smoky Mountains. I doubt I'm even on Social Blade. But yeah, that's a shame because there's a lot of. So I won't post anything from the national parks. I will post only from Custer State Park.
Yeah.
Alicia
There,
at Strange Reality just went. It says I make $4 to $70 a month. I can assure you, it's the $4 a month part.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Charles. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and I've gotten in trouble for posting because I used to put in, like, if I was looking at a website, I would show it on the screen with me and have me little in the corner until I started getting in trouble for showing government places, even though everybody's free to go look at this. They don't want you showing it on YouTube, unfortunately.
Yeah, I remember all those because I was watching all of your videos, and it's just maddening. I do know you had a recent video on Bush Tech about the moderating with external links. So everybody, I
Yeah.
encourage you to go see that one. If your moderators are posting external links, not links to channels from YouTube, but if you're posting a link to from other
Well,
areas.
there is an exception to that.
Okay.
If somebody like myself got in trouble and you posted a link to me, you can get in trouble for that. So you have to be careful with that too.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
So if I was in trouble and you posted a link to my channel, you could get in trouble for that.
So if you are in trouble with this platform,
Yeah.
and I post the link for your channel, I can get in trouble for that.
Yeah. Because usually when this happens to people, a lot of people will post in their community tabs saying this person, something happened to them. So go to their backup channel. So they want your punishment to be a punishment and not, oh, I'll just go to another channel. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So
everybody, I want you to go to the description box of this video. And I would like you to subscribe and click the notification bell if you're so inclined for 3 channels that are listed there. And you'll always know what's going on. Unfortunately, I have this one. And if it disappears, I'm not doing another one. I can't.
it's a lot of work. And there's people tell you to go to other platforms and things. It's other platforms are nice, but YouTube is where everybody's at. And the whole point, what I try to do is give other, people options of prepping and gardening and things like that. And if I can reach 1,000 people with a video here and then only 5 over there, it makes sense to try to get along here
Right.
as much as you can.
Right.
But unfortunately, once you get to a certain level on this platform, you're noticed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I am. They're saying that the links are not working, and I thought they were, so I'm trying to.
Oh.
I'm going to fix
The
them,
tagging?
but I wanted to ask you a question so that I could, while you were talking, I could fix them and not be rude. So, is there something you'd like to share? Awkward moment.
Well, I brought this up earlier. I don't know if I touched on it all the way. Everybody's, I'm sure the bank system and everything. Everybody's really worried about, and everybody should have. And it's like a prep. Should have money set back in your wallet, in your house, or whatever. And if you have any extra money, put it into what you would eat in the future, be it beans, whatever. And it's not, if nothing ever happens with the banks and money's fine and everything, it's not like you just wasted it. You're going to use it to eat that food eventually anyway.
Right. So guys, I'm not able to edit it because we're live. But if you look in the description, I'm sorry, after the live, I will correct it. So I apologize for that. But you can see that between my moderators and myself, the other channels are there. However, Bushcraft Family, we have not put the link in yet. So I will take care of that afterwards. But you could easily search any of
Oh
those
yeah,
channels and find them,
yeah. Bushcraft
especially
Family comes up right away.
Bushcraft Family comes up right away. I think the new tags have helped.
Yeah,
Whereas when you had like 100 subscribers, nobody could find you.
yeah.
But thank you for letting me know that, and I will fix it right after the live. I apologize. I actually took a shortcut this time, and instead of pasting the link, I put the @ in the name. And I've noticed that when you do that, you have to then go in and do it again when you. I
Yeah,
should have just posted the link.
yeah. You have
So
to
I.
go to. You have to go to. Well, I don't know how it is with Melon, but StreamYard, you you can type it in and everything, but you have to go to YouTube and edit it and redo it. That way, the tags pop up.
Yep, gotcha. Thank you, Daz, and hello, Daz, my Aussie Garden and Kitchen. And Gail Southern Living asked about what Ghost Crafty was about, and I know you talked about that, but maybe just give her a little update about what
Ghost
you're doing there.
crafting,
Yeah.
paranormal stuff, ghost stories, and like I did a short about um, nursery rhymes and different nursery rhymes and stuff like that. What they're based on, and which is creepy.
They're very cool, though. I like them.
Yeah,
I like the short format.
yeah,
And when I say that, I mean not only just shorts on YouTube, but I also like, I think because people's attention spans are there nowadays.
yeah. And
Um,
I do the I try to do the ones on my main channel. Oh, you might be a prepper if you might be a redneck if thing, but I changed it and you might be a prepper if, and then I give 3 things in a short. And that seemed to do pretty good. Not not here, but it did better on TikTok.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting comparison to, and I'll speak from what I know, which is Instagram and YouTube. So if I post a reel on Instagram before December, like I had reels of Norman and Diesel, our dog, that went like 20,000, 18,000, 15,000, like in seconds they went up.
Yeah.
They just hit and you were able to figure it out. Then guess what happened? January 1st, they changed the algorithm. So, but you post the same thing on a short as you do on a reel. And it's interesting because they won't both hit.
Yeah, I know.
It's one will hit that. I thought the one that I posted today on Instagram would go right to the Instagram audience. No, YouTube picked it up. It is the most bizarre thing ever.
Yeah, I did that one short, and it before I deleted it, because I thought that might be the reason why they demonetized me, but it wasn't. I had one short that went over 6 million.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was going, I was getting thousands of views every day. And I thought that's the reason why.
Yep.
And so I deleted it. No, that's not it. And I'm like, oh. So a lot of my stuff, I actually deleted probably half of my videos trying to find out what video they didn't like that got me demonetized.
Right. Oh dear.
So
Goodbye,
one
suburban
day I have
hillbilly.
to go back in and look, try to remember all the stuff that I talked about and did. And, like I had a video about the rice,
Yep.
how to preserve it and how to can it and all kinds of different ways to store rice. And I'm going to have to go back and redo some of those videos because they're gone because I didn't know which ones were bad and which ones were good.
And that's frustrating because, again, and I know that that doesn't help you because just because of how I believe and how we believe,
Yeah.
but again, I think it goes back to seeing the different things that are portrayed by creators on a certain platform. And then, you know, I feel you do things appropriately. And I remember the rice thing. And I didn't feel there was anything inappropriate. Um, So, Gail Southern Living had a question. And guys, I think we're going to wrap up after this. So, if you have any questions for Charles, if you could put them in the chat, please. But Gail wants to know what's the secret to the new shorts algorithm?
For YouTube, because you can't do thumbnails for shorts yet, so you got to hope that whatever image that gets picked, and sometimes you can pick it if you're showing your face and stuff, and if you go like something wonky, it'll pick that. And a lot of times that's all they see. They don't look at titles, they look at that thumbnail. And sometimes it's lucky because there's some people that females we'll put it that way, some females have bigger parts and stuff, and it'll show the thumbnail of that, so
Yep.
that will get a lot of people looking at that thumbnail. So, and unfortunately you can't pick your thumbnail. You got to hope whatever you're doing gets picked. And unfortunately 90% of mine, I look like I'm been hit over the head with a boulder or something.
I've been able to change mine.
How? Every one of my
VidIQ.
channels, it says you on YouTube, it says at this time you can't change your thumbnail.
It says that when I'm on my phone, but what I do is I always upload my shorts from my phone because it's easier. Good night, Jamie's Country Living. Thank you for being here. I don't know what you call it, Charles, because I am not as tech savvy as you, but I can get around with things. To the right of my search bar, when I'm in YouTube, I have a vidIQ thing.
Yeah, I have that too.
I go in there, and so basically when I'm in studio.
Oh, you can create. Yeah.
So for example, and I'll show you one because I've had to do
Unfortunately,
it.
you can't upload it though. You can create it from the images within the video.
Right, but I've been able to upload a photo.
Oh,
because what I do.
Oh, do you pay for the vid thing? Okay.
Oh no! Oh no! You're
Yeah,
gonna laugh at
do
what I do. You're gonna
I
laugh
don't
at what
pay
I
for
do.
it.
I have the photo in my phone. I go into Instagram stories and I type the title on with the font that I want. I take a screenshot.
Oh.
I then crop the picture. Hey, Andale, I crop the picture and save it, right? And then I go to on my computer because I can't do it on my phone. Let's see if it would show. I'm looking for one. Okay, so let me see if I can make it bigger. I just took a screenshot. So for example, that says we have.
It doesn't say on mine.
It says we have buckets of water for our livestock.
Yeah.
And so I chose that one.
Maybe it's because I'm on the beta.
The other thing is sometimes when I've uploaded it and I've changed the thumbnail, my friend can tell me that it's been changed.
But you don't see it?
But on my side, yeah, it's still the same.
Huh.
Yeah,
it might because I'm in the beta for YouTube.
Oh,
because I see a lot of stuff. I see a lot of stuff which you guys haven't seen yet. But one of the things which I really hate that they did is they have creator music.
Yep.
And it's right now it's in beta still, and they're giving me $15 to test it out. But you have to, the music that's in there, you have to purchase license for it for 2 years.
Yep.
So every 2 years you have a video up, you have to keep purchasing the rights to that music.
Yeah. I use all the creator music that has, you don't even have to mention them. I make
well, that's what I use. I used, and now that stuff that was free then is not free now in the beta. So eventually, when it does come out for everybody else, some of that music you may have to purchase or have it removed from your videos.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'll remove it.
Yeah, that's what I do. Because
yep. So Gail, so before we get into what Ariella said, Gail, I noticed that it took me a while to find out the rhythm for my shorts. I sometimes see people post shorts at midnight, and when I've done like, just because when I was new, I wasn't thinking of anything. But now I have noticed the time when I've uploaded that things went on the short shelf for a while. And so like I found an exact time, and it's Monday through Friday. For the most part, I can get 1,000 views a short. Every once in a while it throws a wrench at me and I get like 8 views and I'm like, what happened? But for the most part, I could throw up like a chicken short or something like that, and it'll go 1,000 for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then it's done. It's run its course. But I noticed timing is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
For the content that you're putting out there. Like if you're putting out, chicken lady content, maybe the chicken ladies are home all day or on their break at work. If you're putting out cute little Norman, the pig shorts, I've noticed that people think he's a dog. They ask me if that's
what a cute dog.
Yeah, they're like, is that a dog? No, it says Norman the pig. But so anyway, that was one of the things. So but Ariella said, I heard if one deletes a short and re-uploads it for poor performance, YouTube can give a strike. I don't delete anything, even if it performs poorly, because 2 days later, it'll get picked up.
Or 6 months.
Or 6 months later, it'll get picked up. So even if it's only at 40 views, I leave it up. I don't delete a darn thing at all. But what do you think on that?
Oh, yeah. I would just leave it up, because I don't think not saying I know what they think, because I'm sure they've got me.
Yeah.
But I would just honestly leave it up and then just make another one, and the thing with the shorts, they're pushing them so much now that it used to be if you did more than three a week, you would get put in that category for just shorts.
Right.
And same thing with live streams and videos. So you kind of had to, even it out a little bit. But now they're pushing because they want the revenue from, what TikTok's doing. So they're pushing it a lot more.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
now you can get monetized for your shorts. They have a section in there to where I think it's, I don't even know. It's 9 million, I think. You get 9 million views, you get monetized, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Daz was saying I have a long form video that did nothing for 12 months and then got picked up and is sitting on 120,000 views. Long form, not short, just leave it up. Yeah. I leave them all up because I worked on them. What's the point of deleting them?
Yeah. At one point the one that went over 6 million, the first 3 months didn't do anything. And all of a sudden I'm like, I had like 400 subscribers in one day. And I'm like, what the heck happened? I'm looking and I'm trying to figure this out. And I'm looking at all my videos I did in the last week. And I'm like, there's hardly any views. Where did this come from? And then I looked at analytics, and at that time it didn't update for 3 days. So I had no idea where all these views were coming from and subscribers. And then the third day came up and poof, it was at the top. And I was like, oh.
Hey, Country Mama Musings. Welcome in, Alicia.
And
so guys,
unfortunately, when that went crazy, I had, at least probably 600 channels copy that short and put it on their channels. So my copyrights went crazy, saying people were copyrighting me. And they were getting millions of views. But you know what is horrible is the steps you have to go through. If somebody copies your stuff, you have to go through like 30 different steps to get them to stop. And it takes forever. And I'm like, what's the use in that?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And some of the copyrighted stuff shows up because you were on, I'll give you an example. This didn't show up until we were monetized, but we were featured on Ridge Life.
Yep.
So it's like,
why would I want to get him in trouble?
Yeah,
I think everybody from Ridge Life has that though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's been on that thing he used to have on Tuesdays.
I do want to end with this, and last call for questions, guys. I do want to end with this. One of the things was I put up a short, and it was of Norman getting a belly rub. Perfect title for it, or the most I could think of at the time. The best I could think of at the time to draw attention to it. Outside people who don't know who Norman is. Basically, he just, the minute you hit this pig's belly, he's down. And he fell over my leg, and I was sitting there recording it. And I think it's the cutest thing, and maybe other people don't, but I thought it was adorable. Well, the funniest thing is that it got flagged for yellow, might not be appropriate. So my question, I got it resolved. My question to you, because I had asked for a review, when I question a review and I've uploaded it privately, do I have to make it public for them to review it, or they can review it when it's private?
They can, even if they delete it, because that's what they've done to me.
Yep.
They've deleted the content, and they still can review it, even if it's not on YouTube, for public or private or unlisted or anything.
Okay, because I decided it was 3 days, and I said, I'm posting it. I don't care. I mean, it's a short. Come on. There's,
Yeah.
you know, I knew that I wasn't going to get 10 million views on it. So I was like, I'm going to post it. What was funny, the minute I posted it, it went over 1,000. I think it's at like 1 point whatever. And it was really funny because boom, all of a sudden I got a review back and it was approved.
Yeah.
So, but, well, Charles, I've really enjoyed having you tonight, and I appreciate you staying at like a half hour extra. That was really kind
Oh,
of
that's
you.
okay.
I really appreciate it. I hope that you will come back if you're so inclined to when we start having these conversations about growing our own food and just taking control. It's a little less risque conversations.
Yeah.
But I hope that I didn't say anything inappropriate tonight that made you uncomfortable.
No.
Well, you know what I mean. I know we have to dance around some things sometimes.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you all. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Moderators, thank you so much. And good conversation. So stay tuned. We will be back next week. Take care.